Jesus more.
My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, today in the first reading we heard the prayer of anguish of Queen Esther. She is in a very desperate situation, not only for herself but for her own people as well. Because at that moment, just before that time, the king had decreed that all the Jews would be killed, including Queen Esther. So they had no one to turn to but to God, and that is why her prayer looks that way. It's in anguish, it's a matter of life and death. She lies before the altar, she lies there for the whole day, and she cries out to God from the depths of her heart on behalf of herself, but on behalf most especially of her people. And we hear that God, later on, if we read the whole story, then we realize how God delivered them from the hands of this king and his manipulative servants. But then Jesus talks about the importance of prayer in the gospel. Prayer is really our food, our spiritual food. That is what we need to do all the times. As Christians, prayer is something that we must do. It's like the air that we breathe. It is the food for our for our souls. But more important than prayer, because when we think about this text, we always stay with, okay, when you ask, you receive. When you knock, when you seek, you would find. When you knock, the door will be opened for you. But then what happens when that does not happen? Okay. So we should not just end with prayer. Prayer is very important, but it's not as important as the faith to believe that we have a Father who is not going to give us a stone when we ask for bread. So prayer is important, but it's not as important as the faith to believe in the will of God, which is above our own wills, because most often we want to pray and we want it to happen the way we want. We want it in the way we have prayed for. And people would even leave their faith because God did not answer their prayer. And if God did not, is it really true? No. It's not the way we expect it to happen to us. I pray this way, therefore God should give it to me that way. Like he said here in the gospel, when you ask, you receive. When you seek, you find. When you knock, the door will be opened for you. But let us remember that at times, we could be asking for a stone instead of a bread. And God is not going to give us a stone because we asked for it. We could be asking for a snake instead of a fish. God is not going to give us a snake because he knows it will be harmful to us. And therefore, God gives us that which he knows we need. At times, he just wants what we want. Okay? We are like little babies who can see even a frog and they want to put it in their mouths because they feel it's something jumping. And the parents who are there, if the parents are there, they would know that that is harmful for the child. And at times the child will be crying and saying, "Why are you depriving me of this? Okay, I want to play with the frog. I want to put it in my mouth." And once the mother seizes it or the father seizes it, the child begins to cry. He begins to feel maybe the parents don't like him or her to play with the frog, but the parents know exactly how harmful that can be for the child. In the same way, we must pray, but we must trust more in God's providence and in God's will. And Jesus taught us that. He did not just teach us about this, he taught us that even at the Garden of Gethsemane, remember his words? "Lord, if this is possible, take this cup away from me. But let it not be as I want, but let it be in accordance with your will." It's always about the will of God in everything. But just take a moment and think, what if God answered all our prayers? What if whatever thing I want, God does for me? Just think of the people, the prayers we'll be offering now. I'll be thinking of maybe somebody that did something wrong to me. I ask God, "God, deal with that person." I remember once, this is a long time ago, but this is here in the Philippines, I received on this altar an intention, "Lord, please kill this person." That's what was written in the intention, kill this person, and he put the names. Just imagine if God is to answer that prayer, how that would be. Okay? If God was to answer all our prayers, like if you are jealous towards somebody, you just tell God, God, please deal with this person. Give him cancer. Make this person sick. Make him not to progress and things like that. Just imagine if God was to answer all these prayers, I'm sure this world will be finished already. But again, God does not just give us what we are asking for. God gives us the bread. Even when we ask for a stone, if we ask for a bread, He is going to give it to us. If we ask for an egg, He's going to give it to us. If we ask for fish, He's going to give it to us. But the problem is that at times we are asking for a snake instead of fish. We are asking for a scorpion instead of an egg. We are asking for a stone instead of a bread. And God is not just going to give that to us. So it's true, let us seek, because when we seek, we would find. But let us know that we are not just going to find what we want. We are going to find something that we need. We are going to find that which is better for us, which God knows is going to bring us more closer to Him. Let us be, therefore, in our state of prayer like Saint Joseph. When he left going for Egypt as a missionary, he did not know what God had plans for him. He just submitted to God's will. He just took Mary and Jesus, maybe a hammer and a saw and a chisel, and he set up on a journey, believing that God knew what was best for him and that God is going to provide according to His glory, according to His will. Therefore, in our times of prayer, we must also be people who surrender, who just have to plant and let God do with the seed however He pleases. We just have to invest in God. We just have to keep praying. And whatever thing we submit to God, it might not be the way we want it, but we know we must trust that God always wishes the best for us. And He will always give us bread, even if we ask for a stone.
Kiss us, mother, kiss your children. Bring God's blessings from above. With your mantle blue enfold us in your gentle holy love. See the darkness dissipating, hear the trumpet